This is my friend Van Jones on Donald Trump, and he says that Trump has a case to make with women with black voters. But I want you to hear what Van says about Donald Trump because I disagree with this statement, and I'll explain why after you hear it.
But listen, I think that Donald Trump is very, very scary in a general election. First of all, he shouldn't even be around. I mean, he goes into South Carolina, he attacks George W. Bush on 9/11 and the war, and he's still in the lead. That is terrifying. I mean, you shouldn't be able. You should be sneaking out of town in the dark of night, having done that. But he's about to win. It looks like in South Carolina. That gives you a sense that something is happening with this candidacy that is not easily put into a bottle. Number one. Number two,
And here's why I disagree with him completely.
it is not, in fact, the case that he has no argument to make to voters of color. People assume that because he has been so tough on Mexicans, because he's been so tough on Muslims, that he could not ever make an argument to the African American community about jobs, whatever. I think that that is wrong. I will say I agree with you about one thing. Rubio, just one. I promise. I'm going to improve on.
Okay, let me make my point here with Van because he's talking about Rubio. But my point basically with my friend, where I disagree with Van, is that Donald Trump has a history, along sadly with his father, Fred, of discrimination against blacks when it comes to housing and when it comes to jobs. He and his father were the focus of a lawsuit in 1973 for refusing to provide housing to black residents. And the verdict was a settlement where, among other things, the Trumps had to acquaint themselves, with the Fair Housing Act. Then in 1996, Donald Trump promised 70% of jobs would go to residents of Gary, particularly black residents of Gary. That didn't happen. It was 42%. And he basically showed no remorse in what he was trying to do in terms of making a promise that he obviously had no intention of making. Now, someone would say, oh, that's because maybe some didn't. There's always an excuse that Trump fans come up with, like maybe he tested them all and they didn't qualify. Well, no, that's not the case. The bottom line is there are other allegations of racism that Donald Trump has to face and will face in the general election if he gets that far. But to say that he's going to go down and win because he's able to make these stupid sugar saccharine promises to black folks, I think underestimates the black electorate, Van. I really do. Sorry, my friend, had to call you out on that.